Hey guys, we're here today in Valheim to have another discussion about base defense a little bit. And as I discussed in my moats and ground wall video, it is all about attack range. The trolls with the boulders can do their basic attacks at 2 meters long, while the troll with the tree branch can reach up to 6 meters, and you need to build away from your moat or ground wall that far. The other problem there is the troll's boulder throw. You need to reach a certain height before you can block it, so you have to build ground walls pretty high at around 7 meters, or you have to dig your moats pretty deep at the same height in order to avoid the boulder throw. So today we are going to do a little discussion about tree walls. If you plant trees down and have them a sufficient distance away from your moat or ground wall, then you do not have to build your ground wall quite as high. It just needs to catch the feet of the troll or other enemy, and their basic attacks will obviously get nowhere near the trees, and you only have to worry about the boulder throw. The trees are high enough to catch the boulders so that they don't hit your base. And the nice thing is the trolls are pretty bad at aiming as it is, so they don't stand a high shot of breaking the trees anyway. A system like this where the ground wall is catching the feet of the enemy will stop the trolls with the tree branches, it'll stop every other ground creature, and you do not have to invest as much stone into the wall. The only thing you have to worry about is the boulder throwing trolls, and the trees will catch those and do a pretty decent job at keeping you safe. If you do go with something like this, it's important to pay attention to durability. Almost every tree in the game has 80 durability, which will take about 2 boulder throws from a troll before breaking. The two outliers when it comes to tree durability are the pine tree, which has 120, and the oak, which has 200. The only 3 of these that you can grow, however, are the beech, the pine, and the fir tree. All 3 of them have the same growing time of 1 hour in-game, which is roughly 2 in-game days. You can see this a little bit shorter for some trees, being about maybe 50 minutes, and some trees took an hour and 10 minutes to grow, but they're all around that 1 hour time frame. Due to the pine tree's 120 durability, it can sound like a better tree wall than the other ones because it can take slightly more damage. But the other important part is drop rates for their seeds or cones. I went through and I cut down 100 of each tree to see how many seeds I got, and this is by no means a proper test, and I think you would need to cut down at least 1,000 of each in order to get a good baseline. But in the 100 trees that I did, the beech seeds dropped about 170 of them, while the fir and the pine trees dropped only 40 cones. So again, this is not an official test or a proper way to do the test, but even in that small sample of 100 trees, we wouldn't get so lucky to see that kind of discrepancy unless there is a different drop table form, and you can definitely tell the beech seeds drop more often than the fir and the pine cones. So if you are going to try and do tree walls, beech seeds would definitely be the easiest to keep up and replace with seeds. The other important thing you need to look at when planting them is their distance between them. If you place them too close together, you will get one saying that it needs more room to grow, and it will be a waste of a seed. They need to be roughly 2 meters apart in order for both of them to be able to grow, and they need to have no objects within that 2 meters either. So if you mark them out with a beam like this, make sure you destroy it afterwards. The thing to keep in mind is if these sprout at a slightly different time, and this one sprouts first, its trunk gets way bigger, and that is counted in the 2 meters, and could potentially give this one the needs more room to grow message. So it might be safer to do about 3 meters in space if you're going to do this system. A decent way to do this is to angle wood beams, and just roughly place them instead of being exact, and place trees at the ends of them. This checkerboard gives them plenty of distance from each other, and it's probably more like 3 meters due to the angles. And I have not had a problem doing this system on getting them all to grow and not having any mishaps when one of them sprouts before the other one. The last thing to keep in mind, whether it's for a tree wall, a tree farm, or just general knowledge when you're building near trees, is how long the logs are when they get chopped down, so that you know what the safe distance is to be away when building or doing a tree farm. Now, I know everyone's going to experience different sized wood, but in general, I saw the fir and the pine trees being about 12 to 18 meters in length, and the beech trees being 18 to 22. So if you're doing a tree farm, about 20 meters away from it would keep you safe from most things, but if you want to be on the safe side, I'd say about 25 or more meters, and you shouldn't be hit by any tree logs. Hopefully this information is helpful to you guys. Defend your base just a bit more, mix some stuff up with moats or ground walls or even just regular buildings so that you can do the best you can of defending your base against trolls and other attackers. Try and keep in mind with Valheim that base defense is not about having a completely raid-proof or troll-proof defense, and no matter what you put, it is going to get destroyed at some point. And the best defense is to get out there yourself and become the distraction to move them away from building pieces until you can kill them or the timer runs out on a raid. Hopefully this information and some of the information in my previous base defense videos were helpful to you and helpful to your base. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time.